Welcome to my channel, Valuable Coins All World. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end. You won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. In the captivating world of American coinage, few coins have achieved the iconic status and enduring popularity of the Kennedy half dollar. Introduced in 1964 to honor the memory of President John F. Kennedy following his tragic assassination, this coin quickly became a cherished piece of history and a symbol of a nation united in grief, respect, and admiration for its fallen leader. Today, we turn our attention to one very special example from this storied series. The 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar with the D mint mark, a coin that not only captures the spirit of the American bicentennial, but also stands as a rare and valuable collectible. Let's begin with the historical significance behind this extraordinary piece. The year 1976 marked the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, a monumental moment that defined the birth of the United States of America. To commemorate this historic milestone, the U.S. Mint issued a special bicentennial series of coins, including the quarter, the half dollar, and the dollar. Unlike regular issues, these coins bore dual dates, 1776 and 1976, a striking tribute to the nation's 2 centuries of freedom and progress. The Kennedy half dollar from this bicentennial set was especially distinctive. Designed by Seth G. Huntington, the obverse of the coin maintained the dignified portrait of President John F. Kennedy, a powerful symbol of courage and leadership. But it's the reverse that truly sets this coin apart. For the bicentennial edition, the traditional presidential seal was replaced with a magnificent rendering of Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the very building where America's founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence. The design, created by Seth Huntington as well, elegantly captures the spirit of liberty, framed by the inscriptions 200 Years of Freedom and United States of America, with the denomination half dollar below. Struck at the Denver Mint, this particular Kennedy half dollar proudly bears the D mint mark, a small but vital detail located on the obverse, just below Kennedy's neckline. The Denver Mint is known for producing high-quality strikes, and this coin is no exception. With a weight of 11.34 grams, a diameter of 30.61 millimeters, and a thickness of 2.15 millimeters, it has a substantial feel in hand. The coin is composed of a copper-nickel-clad copper alloy, a composition consisting of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, giving the coin its radiant silver appearance, though it contains no actual silver content. The color of this particular specimen is noted as silver, with a brilliant luster that reflects light in a captivating way. Coins that have been well preserved, especially in high mint state grades or proof-like condition, can exhibit a gorgeous mirrored or frosted finish. Collectors often prize examples with sharp details and minimal wear, especially those with strong strikes and well-defined architectural elements on the reverse. But what makes this specific 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar truly stand out among millions is a rare combination of factors: condition, strike quality, potential mint errors, and collector demand. Over the years, some examples of bicentennial halves have surfaced with unusual characteristics: doubled dies, off-center strikes, and planchet errors. These anomalies, though rare, elevate the value of the coin exponentially when authenticated by professional grading services. Even a slight variation, such as a doubling of the date or a rotated reverse, can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a 6-figure treasure. Adding to its rarity is the fact that many Kennedy half dollars from this era were either spent in circulation or stored without special care. Few were preserved in pristine condition, and even fewer survived without contact marks or tarnishing. That's why high-grade examples, particularly those with extraordinary eye appeal, have become increasingly difficult to find. For passionate collectors, locating such a specimen is like uncovering a piece of living American history. The Kennedy half dollar is more than just a coin. It is a snapshot of time, a tribute to a beloved president, a celebration of American independence, and a shining example of mid-20th century U.S. mint artistry. It holds emotional value for generations who remember the promise and tragedy of John F. Kennedy's presidency. And for numismatists, it represents a piece of artistry that captures a defining moment in the American journey. Today, some of these bicentennial Kennedy half-dollars, especially those with exceptional quality, era varieties, or historical significance, have achieved remarkable value on the collector's market. One such example, a flawless 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar with the D mint mark, striking silver color, and impeccable preservation, has been valued at an astounding $165,000. Yes, you heard that right. $165,000 for a half-dollar coin that originally had a face value of just 50 cents. It's an incredible testament to the power of history, rarity, and the enduring passion of collectors. So, before you dismiss those old coins in your drawer or pocket change, take a closer look. You might just be holding a small piece of American heritage, and perhaps even a fortune in your hand. Top 2. In the vast and fascinating universe of American coin collecting, certain coins have the power to instantly capture the imagination, not just because of their design or historical background, but because of the extraordinary stories they carry. One such coin is the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar with the Denver mint mark. At first glance, it might seem like just another 50-cent piece from decades past, but in the world of numismatics, this coin is anything but ordinary. With its elegant design, unique production details, and the astonishing value it can fetch today, this particular half-dollar has become a sought-after prize among collectors and history enthusiasts alike. Let us travel back to the early 1970s. The nation was undergoing major changes, politically, socially, and economically. In the wake of the 1960s, Americans were entering a new era, one marked by transformation and hope. Amid this backdrop, the United States Mint continued to honor one of the country's most beloved figures, President John F. Kennedy, with his iconic half-dollar coin. First released in 1964, just months after his tragic assassination, the Kennedy half-dollar quickly became one of the most popular and emotionally significant coins in U.S. history. It wasn't just currency. It was a symbol of national mourning and remembrance that by 1971, the Kennedy half-dollar had already undergone several changes. Most notably, the U.S. Mint had discontinued the use of silver in the coin's composition for general circulation. Prior to 1971, the half-dollar had been minted with a 40% silver content. But due to rising silver prices and economic constraints, the mint made the decision to switch the coin's composition to copper-nickel clad over a copper core, matching the materials used in the dime and quarter. However, despite this change, the coin maintained its bright, silver-like color, a result of the outer nickel layers, which still gives it a striking appearance even today. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar with the D mint mark was produced at the Denver Mint. Weighing 11.34 grams, measuring 30.61 millimeters in diameter and 2.15 millimeters in thickness, this round coin was a marvel of precision minting. The composition, now copper-nickel-clad copper, consisted of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, durable, practical, yet still visually impressive. The mint mark D, located on the obverse side just beneath Kennedy's neck, signifies its origin at the Denver facility, a mint known for high production quality and sharp strike details. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy, sculpted with poise and honor. Designed by Gilroy Roberts, this image conveys a sense of dignity, youth, and promise, a tribute to a leader who, despite his short tenure, left an indelible impact on American history. On the reverse side, created by Frank Gasparo, the design showcases the presidential seal, an eagle with a shield on its chest, clutching an olive branch and arrows, surrounded by 50 stars. The bold inscription, United States of America, and half-dollar frames the design, reinforcing its national pride and symbolic strength. Now, what truly sets some 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollars apart from the rest is their rarity in certain conditions, and, in some incredibly rare cases, due to mint errors or extraordinary preservation. Although millions were struck and put into circulation, very few survived in flawless condition. The majority of these coins were handled by machines, passed through countless hands, and stored without much care, resulting in scratches, wear, and dulling of their luster. This is why uncirculated examples, especially those that have been professionally graded as mint state or proof-like, have become so valuable to collectors. But there's even more to the story. Some 1971 D. Kennedy half dollars have been discovered with rare minting anomalies, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on silver planchets by mistake. These rare error coins, when certified by top grading agencies, can command astronomical prices at auction. Combine an error with superb condition and stunning eye appeal, and you have a recipe for a true numismatic treasure. Collectors today hunt for these exceptional examples with great enthusiasm. A coin that might have once gone unnoticed in a pocket or cash register can now, under the right circumstances, be worth more than its weight in gold, literally. It's a reminder that hidden value can lie in the most unexpected places, waiting to be uncovered by a keen eye and a little bit of luck. The Kennedy half dollar from 1971 stands as a symbol of change, in coinage, in economy, and in national memory. It marks the beginning of a new era in U.S. mint production, transitioning away from silver but holding firm to the ideals and respect symbolized by President Kennedy. It's a coin that tells a powerful story, one that still resonates more than 5 decades later. And now, for the truly breathtaking part. Some rare and pristine 1971 D. Kennedy half dollars have been valued at an incredible $155,000. Yes, $155,000 for a single 50-cent coin. That's not just a collector's fantasy. It's the reality of how deeply history, rarity, and human fascination can drive value in the world of coin collecting. So, the next time you come across a Kennedy half dollar, don't overlook it. That simple silver-toned coin in your hand might just hold a hidden fortune. Top 3. In the rich tapestry of American coinage, few coins embody both historical significance and collector fascination like the Kennedy half dollar. Introduced in 1964 as a tribute to the fallen President John F. Kennedy, this coin became far more than just a piece of currency. It became a lasting symbol of national memory, unity, and reverence. Over the years, the Kennedy half dollar has seen many changes in its design, composition, and production, but each year carries its own unique story. Among these, the 1972 Kennedy half dollar minted in Denver, proudly bearing the D mint mark, has emerged as one of the most captivating treasures in numismatic circles. Let us dive deep into this specific coin, the 1972 D. Kennedy half dollar, and explore what makes it so incredibly desirable and rare in the eyes of collectors. First, consider its physical attributes. It weighs 11.34 grams and measures 30.61 millimeters in diameter with a thickness of 2.15 millimeters. Its round shape is standard, but its gleaming silver-colored surface immediately catches the eye. Though it appears silver, it actually contains no precious metal. Its composition is a copper-nickel clad over a solid copper core, consisting of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. This combination was introduced after 1970 when the U.S. Mint discontinued the use of silver in circulating half dollars due to rising metal costs. Despite the lack of actual silver, the 1972 D. Kennedy half dollar possesses an undeniable brilliance that has preserved its aesthetic appeal. The Denver Mint, known for high production quality, struck this coin with exceptional detail. On the obverse side, you'll find the iconic left-facing profile of President John F. Kennedy, youthful, bold, and dignified, designed by Gilroy Roberts. The word liberty arches above his head, while In God We Trust spans both sides of his neckline, and the date, 1972, anchors the bottom. Flipping the coin reveals the reverse side designed by Frank Gasparo, which features the official seal of the President of the United States. A majestic eagle is depicted with its wings spread wide, clutching olive branches in one talon and arrows in the other, a powerful representation of peace and defense. Surrounding the eagle are 50 stars, representing the 50 states, and encircling the entire design are the inscriptions United States of America and half dollar. The Denver Mint produced millions of Kennedy half dollars in 1972, but not all coins are created equal. While many were circulated and subjected to wear and tear, only a tiny fraction have survived in exceptional condition. Coins that remain untouched by circulation, coins with flawless surfaces, sharp strikes, and pristine luster, are graded as mint state, often MS65 or higher by professional grading services. These are the coins that spark bidding wars at auctions and become the centerpiece of collections. However, rarity doesn't only come from condition. The true stars of the numismatic world are the coins that contain errors, minting mistakes that slipped through quality control. Some 1972 D. Kennedy half dollars are known to exhibit dramatic and collectible errors, such as double die obverse, DDO, where parts of the design appear to be stamped twice, slightly offset, creating a ghost-like doubling effect. Other anomalies include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even coins accidentally struck on foreign or silver planchets. These mistakes are incredibly rare and, when authenticated, significantly increase a coin's value. Collectors are constantly on the hunt for such coins, not just for their monetary worth, but for the stories they tell. The 1972 D. Kennedy half dollar becomes even more intriguing when found with full luster, strong strike details, and no visible wear. Even in average circulated condition, these coins hold modest collectible interest, but when one appears in near-perfect preservation with a rare error or exceptional eye appeal, its value skyrockets. What makes the 1972 D. Kennedy half dollar particularly special is the era it represents. The early 1970s were a transformative period in American history, politically, culturally, and economically. The Vietnam War was nearing its end, technology was on the rise, and the American people were redefining their identity. Amid all this change, the half dollar quietly continued to pay tribute to a president whose legacy still loomed large. Every coin minted during this time is like a frozen moment, a small yet powerful reminder of the past. Today, among collectors and investors alike, the search for the perfect 1972 D. Kennedy half dollar continues. While millions of these coins exist, only a select few meet the strict criteria of rarity, condition, and historical intrigue that drive their value into the stratosphere. When such a coin is discovered, especially one with an error or an immaculate strike, its presence can spark fierce competition among seasoned numismatists. And now, the question on every viewer's mind: just how valuable can one of these coins be? Believe it or not, one extraordinary example of the 1972 Kennedy half dollar minted in Denver, a coin with exceptional condition, rare features, and eye-catching brilliance, has been valued at an astonishing $140,000. Yes, $140,000 for a coin that once passed through hands for just 50 cents. It's a shining reminder that within the everyday, history sometimes hides a treasure. So before you dismiss that old half dollar sitting in a jar or tucked away in a drawer, take a closer look. You could be holding not just a piece of American legacy, but a rare and valuable gem from the golden age of U.S. mint craftsmanship. Top 4. In the wide and endlessly fascinating world of American coins, few hold the emotional, historical, and collectible appeal of the Kennedy half dollar. Struck as a tribute to the 35th President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, just months after his assassination in 1963, this coin became an instant symbol of national pride and remembrance. But among the many varieties minted over the years, there exists one particular version that has quietly become a hidden treasure for collectors: the 1973 Kennedy half dollar, with no mint mark, a coin that, under the right circumstances, has reached an astonishing value few would expect. Let's step into the year 1973, a time when America was navigating its way through significant change. The Vietnam War was drawing to a close, the Watergate scandal was unfolding, and the world was shifting in technology, culture, and economy. Yet, even amidst this dynamic backdrop, the U.S. Mint continued producing coins that silently carried history in the palm of every American's hand. And one such coin was the Kennedy half dollar of that year, minted without a mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The 1973 Kennedy half dollar is more than just a piece of pocket change. It's a carefully designed work of art, crafted with purpose and dignity. It weighs 11.34 grams and has a diameter of 30.61 millimeters, with a thickness of 2.15 millimeters, giving it a solid, substantial feel. Though the coin has a silver-like appearance, it contains no actual silver. Instead, its composition is a copper-nickel clad, 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, which produces a brilliant shine and makes it durable for circulation. The obverse side of the coin features the noble and instantly recognizable profile of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. His image gazes left, symbolizing hope, strength, and the vision of a leader whose life and legacy still echo through American history. Above his head arcs the word liberty, while the motto, "In God We Trust," is inscribed across the lower half, with the date 1973 resting prominently at the bottom. Turn the coin over, and you're met with a powerful image, the presidential seal, rendered beautifully by designer Frank Gasparo. At its center is an eagle with wings outstretched, clutching olive branches in one talon and arrows in the other, a symbol of both peace and military readiness. The eagle's chest bears a shield, and above its head floats a cluster of 13 stars. Surrounding the seal are the inscriptions United States of America and $50, a fitting tribute to the country and its values. Now, what makes the 1973 Kennedy $50 without a mint mark especially intriguing is that it wasn't released for general circulation. That's right. Unlike most other years, the Kennedy $50 minted in 1973 were only issued in U.S. mint sets and proof sets. This decision was part of the mint's effort to limit the use of the coin in daily transactions, as by the 1970s, the $50 had largely fallen out of favor with the public as a circulating coin. Because of this restricted release, every 1973 Kennedy $50, especially those without a mint mark, was never meant to end up in pocket change or at the bottom of a coin jar. They were carefully packaged and sold to collectors, which means the total mintage was lower and the coins were often preserved in much better condition than circulated coins. However, over the decades, some of these coins escaped their mint packaging, were separated from their sets, or were mistakenly spent, making high-quality specimens increasingly rare. Even more fascinating is that certain examples of the 1973 Kennedy $50 have surfaced with remarkable mint errors or features that set them apart. Some collectors have found double-die obverse varieties, where elements of the design, such as the date or lettering, appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment during striking. Others have reported off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or unusual surface finishes. These minting anomalies, although rare, dramatically elevate the desirability and value of the coin among serious numismatists. Condition, as always, plays a major role in determining the value of a coin. A 1973 Kennedy $50 without a mint mark, kept in pristine condition and graded at a high mint state or even proof level, becomes a highly valuable collector's item. Its rarity, combined with its historical significance and the increasing interest in Kennedy-era memorabilia, drives demand, and therefore, price. The design and craftsmanship of this coin also contribute to its appeal. The details of Kennedy's portrait, the feathers on the eagle's wings, the stars, and the lettering all come together to create a coin that is as visually striking as it is symbolic. For those who collect not just for investment, but out of passion for American history and artistry, the 1973 Kennedy $50 is a must-have. Today, collectors continue to scour coin shows, online auctions, and estate sales in hopes of finding one of these hidden gems, especially those that remain untouched, unblemished, and untouched by time. And in one incredible case, a 1973 Kennedy $50 with no mint mark, preserved in flawless condition and carrying just the right combination of rarity and appeal, was valued at an astonishing $135,000. That's right, $135,000 for a coin originally worth just 50 cents. This jaw-dropping value is not just a reflection of the coin's physical attributes, but a celebration of its story, its place in American history, and its standing in the numismatic world. So the next time you come across a Kennedy $50, take a moment to examine it closely. That small round piece of metal might not just be a coin. It could be a legacy, a piece of history, and potentially a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 5. In the world of United States coin collecting, few coins strike such a perfect balance of historical importance, national symbolism, and collector appeal as the Kennedy half-dollar. First issued in 1964, just months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, the half-dollar quickly became a beloved tribute to one of America's most admired leaders. Over the years, the Kennedy half-dollar has undergone changes in composition and circulation, but the emotional connection and artistic beauty of the coin have never faded. One particularly interesting and desirable version of this coin comes from the year 1981. The Kennedy half-dollar struck at the Denver Mint, marked with a small but significant D. At first glance, the 1981 D. Kennedy half-dollar may seem like a regular coin, one that circulated quietly through vending machines and cash registers across the country. But beneath its modest appearance lies a story of rarity, condition, minting quirks, and intense collector interest. With the right combination of features, this coin has commanded eye-watering prices on the collector's market, including one extraordinary example valued at an astounding $95,000. Let's begin by understanding the physical and design details of the 1981 D. Kennedy half-dollar. It weighs 11.34 grams and has a diameter of 30.61 millimeters, with a thickness of 2.15 millimeters. Crafted in a copper-nickel-clad composition over a copper core, with 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, the coin still retains a bright, silver-colored finish. This gives it a sleek, polished look that's both visually appealing and highly durable. Though it contains no actual silver, the shine of its surface and the precision of its strike make it stand out among circulating coins of the era. On the obverse side of the coin is the proud and dignified profile of President John F. Kennedy. Designed by Gilroy Roberts, this portrait has become iconic in American numismatics. Kennedy's likeness is sharply defined, facing left, with Liberty inscribed above, and In God We Trust split on either side of his neck. The date, 1981, sits just below his bust. A small D mint mark, located just beneath Kennedy's neckline, indicates that this particular coin was minted at the Denver Mint. Flip the coin over and you're greeted by another masterful design, the presidential seal, created by Frank Gasparo. A proud eagle with outstretched wings clutches olive branches and arrows in its talons, a representation of both peace and military readiness. Above the eagle's head is a ring of 13 stars, symbolizing the original 13 colonies, while 50 additional stars circle the entire image, representing the 50 states of the Union. Around the outer rim of the reverse are the inscriptions United States of America and half-dollar, lending a majestic feel to the design. The year 1981 is especially significant in the Kennedy half-dollar series. It was the final year that the coin was issued for general circulation before the Mint limited production primarily to collector sets. After this year, Kennedy half-dollars were not regularly released into circulation until over a decade later, making 1981 a final chapter in an important era of production. As a result, coins from this year, especially those in pristine condition, are increasingly hard to find. The Denver Mint produced over 13 million half-dollars in 1981, but the vast majority of these were used in everyday transactions and suffered the usual nicks, scratches, and general wear that come from circulation. Very few were preserved in high-grade condition, and even fewer were stored in untouched mint sets. The value of a 1981 D. Kennedy half-dollar increases dramatically when it is discovered in mint state, particularly MS-66 and higher, with strong luster, sharp strike, and no surface imperfections. Some of the most valuable examples are coins that also exhibit unusual errors. These include double die obverse varieties, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet anomalies, all of which add to the uniqueness of a coin. When authenticated and graded by reputable services like PeaceGS or NGC, such error coins become major targets for collectors and investors. In a hobby where scarcity and condition drive demand, even small imperfections in a coin's design can translate to major gains in its value. But rarity isn't just about errors, it's also about history. The Kennedy half-dollar represents a moment frozen in time, a permanent tribute to a president who inspired millions. Collecting these coins is not just about profit. It's about preserving a legacy, honoring a historical figure, and holding on to a tangible piece of American identity. The 1981 D version represents the last breath of regular mintage before a shift in production strategy, giving it a special place in the series. Over the years, collector enthusiasm for Kennedy half dollars has only grown. From casual collectors to professional dealers, interest in high-grade examples from key dates has surged. And when a truly exceptional 1981 D Kennedy half dollar surfaces, one with stunning visual appeal, flawless surface, and possibly a rare minting error, its value can soar beyond imagination. And that brings us to the moment that leaves every viewer stunned. One extraordinary 1981 D Kennedy half dollar, certified in exceptional condition and coveted by collectors for its rarity and flawless beauty, was valued at an incredible $95,000. Yes, $95,000. All for a coin that once held just 50 cents in purchasing power. It's an unbelievable transformation, and yet it happens more often than most people realize. Coins that once sat unnoticed in pockets or piggy banks are now celebrated at high-end auctions and in prestigious collections around the world. So, the next time you come across a Kennedy half dollar, don't be too quick to overlook it. That silver-toned round piece in your hand might be more than just a relic from the past. It could be a silent witness to history, a tribute to a great leader, and just maybe, a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered.